People, Deluded, I'm back again. Thank you very much for tuning back in each and every time. In case you needed reminding, not that I think you do, Arsenal fans, rival fans will want to remind you, we lost 3-0 yesterday. Arsenal 0, Aston Villa 3, we got smacked, we got duppied, we got eaten alive, we got savaged. Credit to Aston Villa, as I've said in every video, outclassed us, outmatched us, outfought us, outmuscled us. Did everything, won their individual battles all over the park. Collectively, they won the battle. They listened to their manager. Whatever their manager worked on in the training ground all week, they reacted to it. Individuals took responsibility for the team's performance. Grealish wanted to do something positive for his team. Barkley on loan from Chelsea also. Ollie Watkins who grabbed the brace. You can't discredit the impact. Not that we offered much of a threat offensively and they had to defend and clear lines and whatnot. But I think Cash did well on the at right back going forward. Target obviously technically got an assist. I think Louise and John McGinn, apart from McGinn's little effort where, heart and mouth moment where he lost the ball and Partey almost pressed Martinez in goal, that's the only thing he done wrong. Collectively, they done well. Arteta, there's a lot to be said. For me, I don't really care about 5 at the back. I get it. I wanted to see 5 at the back. I get it. People don't. I felt he would have went with it because of the threat. It's about the intention. You can play 5 at the back, 3 at the back, 4 at the back. As we see in many teams in this league and abroad, their formation changes, their philosophy doesn't. They want to go forward. You never get the vibe that Arsenal want to score goals. Therefore, you never get the vibe that Arsenal truly want to win a game of football. And we were outmuscled, in every department. I mean, I'm not talking in terms of strength. Their players fought better upstairs than us. Look at the third goal. They absolute counter-attack. The first goal was Schoolboy defending. What I've always said, Arsenal have a problem following runners. Arsenal get attracted to the ball. It was an atrocious goal to concede, people, and I'm actually going to go straight into that, people. And I can't draw it to scale, obviously, but Willian lost the ball, people. Once again, Willian lost the ball and we had to defend, and you saw something along the lines of, let's just say it was something like this. You saw men back. 1 second, people, I'm going to pattern it for you. What you saw, Grealish and Barkley. You had Target, you had Lacazette there, you probably had Saka over there, you had Trezeguet over there in the build-up for decoration. You probably had a couple other City men. Now, like you saw, people, I'm not gonna discredit it. You saw, let's say that's Target. Ollie Watkins, Trezeguet, Trezeguet, Ollie Watkins, Grealish, Target, Barkley. Now, not to scale for obvious reasons, people, but Willian lost the ball around here. They've counter-attacked us and done quite well, I think they've gone down this side. They've held on to the ball quite well. I think it's too easy with Bellerin. Grealish has held on to it. He's passed it to Barkley. And you've actually got Willian here. You've got Bellerin, Willian, holding Lacazette, and somebody else is actually there. But it's lovely play from Villa, and it's poor from us. We're just playing around. We're allowing them to have it. Barkley and Grealish are mixing it between each other. The bit what got disappointing for me and in the build up to the goal is what I've told you, midfield runners. Now for Aston Villa, it's superb play. We know in the modern game you need your fullbacks to offer something. What did you see? Target, who you saw him put the ball into the box. Nobody saw the run. Go and watch the game again. He makes that run, people. Them man there, Barkley and Grealish, who have started well. They're playing well. They're holding on to the ball. We're respecting them too much. Holding is making it harder than it needs to be. In fact, off that, on a slight topic, they did very well to isolate Holding consistently from this back three into these channels. You saw many times Barkley for now, but Grealish had him out there and he didn't want to go tight, or he was coming down here. They really picked apart our centre-halves, and that's one way to exploit Arsenal. You think of the sides. They did that quite well. But back to this goal, people. Like I said, Grealish and Barkley are doing their thing. They're working quite hard. Willian, Bellerin, Rob Holding, bear them, man. They're not doing good enough, innit? They're not doing well enough. They're not doing enough, people. They're not doing enough. Have we even got enough players, people? 3... Yeah, I knew someone was missing. Let's put someone back here for decoration and put a next man here. As I was saying, people, and apologies for swerving this and whatnot, people. The thing broke, the thingy broke. But like I said, Barkley and Grealish are doing extremely well down that side. We're respecting them too much. But it's really Target. Credit to Target. Target just makes that run. Target makes it. We're doing poor. We're chasing shadows. We're blinkered. Throughout that whole game, we're ball watching. We're not looking off the ball. We're not looking around us. We're behaving like schoolboys. And they exploited that, people. What you do off the ball makes all the difference, people. Have I got my headphones in here? Yeah, I do. Like I said, Target simply just makes that run. Target makes that run. Lacazette ain't even looking at now. I'm not blaming Lacazette in particular. But follow him. Follow him. Man, just let him go. Man, let him go. He puts in a ball. Now, you can see in the build-up, Saka and somebody else needs to do much better. Saka's actually in the build-up when the ball's out here, in the initial build-up, in the pre-build-up. I felt our back line, which you did see, our defenders who were penned in, whether it's El Nene or whatever. Why are we that deep in our own goal? You know, they're offside. They're offside. If the wrong ball comes in, they're offside. Why are we not stepping up? We don't step up. The ball comes across, you know. Trezeguet just makes a nuisance and it comes off Saka, not to scale, but we've let ourselves down and it's 1-0. And, you know, they deserve that. Villa reacted very well after the disappointment of VAR obviously helping us, people. You know, VAR enabled us in that sense and they kept going. For me, we lost this game not because of Aston Villa. I'm not trying to take anything away from their result, but disregarding them and looking at it from an Arsenal perspective. First and foremost, the players. You know, the players have got to take responsibility. You never look like you was mentally there. You never look like you wanted to win a game of football. You look like the team that have lost back-to-back games. You look like the team that ain't won that's lost that you look like the away team, sorry. We were poor. And they exploited that. Mentally, we weren't there. If you're never prepared mentally, you ain't got a chance. Football is not won on paper. Villa did not give a crap who Arsenal were, who these players were, whatever. They come up for 3 points. You, man, weren't trying to go into the international break with 3 points. I hear for me, it's about the intention as well. You can play 3 at the back, 5 at the back, 10 at the back, whatever. What Arteta is doing is killing our team. You know, Aubameyang is playing poor because Aubameyang's playing poor. He's taking less shots. But, you know, there's no coincidence. His last shot was against Sheffield United away from home. Yeah, he scored a penalty. But that's because of what we're doing. Our system is too robotic. It doesn't get the best out of our men. You know, we don't have plans. And I'm getting tired of Arteta saying it, to be fair. I'm a big fan of Arteta. I'll always support him until he gives me reason to suggest otherwise. But he does a lot of talking. Like he said here, I want to become more dominant. I want to press even higher than we do. Like you could see on Thursday how aggressive the team is. I want to have 55 shots on target. I want to concede 0 goals every game. This is the aim. And this was obviously previous weeks, people, but this is the language I'm speaking about. He always speaks about this, and when I'm not seeing anything right now to suggest on a training ground you're playing these passes. How Willian keeps you're trying to work on breaking teams down. Clearly we struggle against a low block. You know, we can't break down teams. When you go 5 at the back, when you've got Partey and El Nene on the football field, you know, and you've got Willian, who is probably a bit more defensive than he is attacking in hindsight, you're going to struggle. And we ain't got the mentality to break teams down. Like, you know, breaking down teams, movement, one-touch passes, this should all be muscle memory as a result of continuous time on the training ground. It hasn't been done. It hasn't been, there's nothing there to suggest that's the case, people. So we have to hold our L, and it was poor. You know, we was trying this dead 4-2-4 out of possession when we're, you know, it's not exactly a 5 at the back, people. Out of possession. It's getting quite annoying moving all these Villa players out, but to move these Villa players out, like you saw, out of possession, you probably saw something more along the lines of a 4. You saw some dead like 4-2-4 thing. You know, you could see our attackers slightly further forward. This is typically how you saw us going forward. You saw something of that, and that's not a problem. That's not wrong. The problem is when you've got Partey and El Nene, they're going to occupy the same positions. Partey's got a lot more about him going forward than El Nene, but neither is a guy to break the lines. You know, Aubameyang, Saka's gone, Aubameyang's gone, Laka's there, he's not playing well, and Willian's there, but there's gaps, people. And when you're defending against a team that know how to defend, a team that back themselves 1v1, a team that seems a well-engined unit, you're going to struggle, people. You've got Ollie Watkins pressing. You know, you had Watkins pressing, you had a pivot, you had McGinn and Douglas in the engine room, you know, you had Trezeguet out there, you had Grealish here, you had, you know, Barkley and Grealish swapping whenever the incident provides itself. In fact, you even saw times, what's his name, Watkins was doing up the thing here, Barkley went through the mid, when Grealish became a bit narrow, Thingy was going inside. You can't we're struggling to break down teams, people. We're struggling, and now you can see the gaps. When you've got McGinn and Douglas, you're gonna back them. And you know, these guys are not the most expensive. There was gaps in the team. We're playing into other teams' hands. And that is a result of Arteta as well as the team. The team was poor. You know, Willian in particular for me. Lacazette didn't even play. Aubameyang, you know, everybody was poor. The only ones, not that anyone can leave any credibility, but I think Tierney, Gabriel, Leno, them and there party for the 45 minutes. Them and there tried to go down fighting, but collectively we was atrocious. This ain't a game to be picking out differences and whatnot and all of these sort of things, people. Again, their second goal was the only one I'd say fair. Not that I'd say fair enough. It was an avoidable goal, but it was a thing of master, you know. It's a lovely ball from Douglas to Luiz for Barkley. It's an even better ball for Barkley to put for Ollie Watkins. But it is very poor, people. Again, not to scale. But we failed to clear our lines. We failed to push up. Half of these goals, we're camped in our own half. Do we not understand what offside is? Who is speaking? Leno can see everything, so why is he not speaking? And I'm not saying just him. The defenders, you can see everything, so why are you not speaking? Midfield, what he said. Captain, what he said. You know, we're looking like 3 different teams within one, and that was quite poor, people. You know, the goal we conceded, again, our backs are against the wall sort of thing, people. Gabriel, again, it's a header out from Gabriel. He's done well to header it out. Douglas Luiz has just switched it to Barkley. Barkley's done his thing. It's a lovely ball for Barkley, but yet again, people, you know, you're seeing the runners. The runners in between Tierney and somebody else. Nobody's following their runners. Ball comes in. Fucking fantastic ball from Barkley. Pardon my language. 2-0. Watkins gets a goal against his boyhood club. It is what it is. Now, you know, big up Martinez. You know, we've seen Martinez make quick decisions, people. And not to scale, of course, because I'll exaggerate it a bit for you. But yeah, probably let's say something along the lines of that. Now, Arsenal's thing hasn't banged. It ain't banged, you know. It ain't banged. We were caught trying to chase the game at this moment in time. Let's just say Bellerin's up here, people. Bellerin's here. Now, yeah. Martinez, as you saw, Martinez quickly just dashed that to Grealish or whatever, and he was off. Bellerin's out of position. He's there running back. You've got no chance against Grealish. Absolutely no chance. It's gone. It's gone. And then you've got Holding and Gabriel. You've actually got Watkins. He made the run off of Holding, behind Holding. He slotted through and he makes it 3-0. And it's a good teamwork goal. And Martinez is laughing because he's had a hand in a goal. He's got a clean sheet. You know, he of all people knows how dangerous Aubameyang potentially could be. And even Lacazette, even though I don't agree, he's kept them all in it. And you know, it's a poor collective performance. Not one player looked like they was truly fully up for this game. Mentally, we weren't there. We've had 2 games this week and started slow in both of them. So collectively, the mood of that camp, the 25-man squad, whether they played on Thursday or played on Sunday, screams to me complacency. For Arteta, I love Arteta. I back Arteta. I want him to get it right. But I love my club. If a time comes where he's not the man, we'll speak about it. But he's making things harder than it needs to be for himself. His stubbornness is harming himself. He needs to try and promote freedom within a framework for these players. He needs to release the shackles. He needs to drop players that aren't respecting him. You play William week in, week out, and he's spitting in your face with these inconsistent performances. You know, it's all about the intention. It's about the invention. And I hear a lot of talk from Arteta. And I have a lot of sympathy for him, especially because we know the dynamics of our club. But these excuses are nothing, you know. Isolated from historically the Kroenke, questioning Edu's business in the market. There's a lot of stuff Arteta needs to answer for. He needs to answer for how we're playing. First and foremost is him as a manager. Not one single player is playing to their full potential. Collectively, we're not. You know, the stats are quite damning. Also, he shot himself in the foot. You know, we know Ozil is bigger than just a sporting decision. Ozil plays yesterday, he probably doesn't do anything. But at least Unai Emery gave himself that option of utilising Ozil. So then he can say, listen, yo, boom, boom. When you're saying it's a sporting decision and you're not including Ozil, F Ozil, it is what it is, but you damn well might as well show me we've been lacking creativity with Ozil, so damn well show me a plan. You know, you've let Ozil go, you've not brought in another man, you've not shown me anything in the squad to show me you're gonna fix this in-house. You have to hold your hands up. You've spoken about trying to score 90 or 100 goals. You're not gonna get that with Willian. You're not gonna get that with the way you're setting them up to play. You're not gonna get that with the patterns of play we're playing. So what are you doing? Like, what are you actually doing? Arteta has set himself up to fail as much as you can talk about other things, people. Really and truly. And all you got to do is look at the statistics, people, that I spoke about in my podcast. Make sure you go check that out, people. Let me scroll quickly to the Arsenal section. You know, this was the first time Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang has played 90 minutes in a Premier League home game without attempting a shot. Aubameyang was one of only 3 players, outfield players, who didn't record an attempt for Arsenal in this game, people. Arsenal have scored just 9 goals in 8 Premier League games this season, their fewest at this stage of a campaign since 98-99, which was also 9. Arsenal have only won 1 of 6 previous games under Mikel Arteta when trailing at half-time, while they've gone on to lose each of their last 4. So we can't respond to adversity well. We don't know about how to respond to adversity well, and we deserved what was coming to us. You know, the glorious thing of it, you got away with it against West Ham, you got away with it against Leicester in the league, you even got away with it against Rapid Vienna and Molde in the Europa League, but your luck runs out. This sort of result, it's not by coincidence. This has been happening. A lot of the way we've been winning, a lot of things we've been doing have not been sustainable. And it's time for people to wake up, people. It's really time to wake up, really and truly. As I said, we can talk about individual performances until we're blue in the face. And I feel there was a number of poor individual performances. But again, in Arsenal's perspective, it was atrocious. As great as Aston Villa were, and as much as I'm fond of their game plan, and I'm not trying to take anything away from Aston Villa because that's not fair, we were poor. We defeated ourselves way before we stepped onto that field. If you cannot wake up after 45 seconds after conceding and VAR saving your bacon, when are you going to wake up? It's not going to happen, is it? So it is what it is. And you look at it, Harry Maguire has had more shots at goal than Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang and Lacazette this season, you know. Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang has had 10 shots. Lacazette's had 9. Harry Maguire's had 11. Only Wolves and the bottom 4 clubs have scored fewer goals than Arsenal in the Premier League this season, and I bet they didn't spend as much money as we did. You know, Ollie Watkins has scored the most Premier League goals at the Emirates this season. So what does that tell me? You should feel sick. Every attacking player, even if you're not an attacking player, all of you lot should feel sick that these statistics are there, because stats don't lie. You know, go home and go on international break or go home, but remember this, because we got to go back to this. You can't feel sorry for yourself now. You all said you want top 4. You all said you can get top 4. You all said you believe in the manager. It's easy when you beat Fulham and the sun is shining and these things. It's tough when you're in a run of games like we are now. You've got to put consistency together. This is why I tell Arsenal players, not that I speak to them, just shut the fuck up and do the thing on the football field. Too much chatting and sound pieces and sounding the part. And sometimes we actually look the part off the field and whatnot. But when it's crunch time, you man crumble. You man crumble. You knew you was playing last in the Premier League in this game week. You knew what the ramifications were in that regard. You knew we're not playing for a week, 2 weeks, 10 days or whatever. And you bottled. So you're mentally fragile. You know, and way before we talk about formations and technical ability and the rest of it, you've mentally got to be switched on, and you never get the vibe that is a case with Arsenal. It's actually been, like the courtesy of the Twitter account Obrino, it's been 6 hours and 26 minutes since Arsenal last scored a goal from open play in the Premier League. Ross Barkley has created 6 chances at a period in that game yesterday, people. The last Arsenal player who did that in a game was in 2018 against Stoke, and ding ding ding, Mesut Ozil. This isn't talking about Mesut Ozil coming back into the team. This is highlighting the lack of creativity. You can be as solid defensively as you want, have all the great statistics as you want. You know, you need to offer a threat. People always want to talk about we're more solid defensively. That's cool, but that's only 9/10 of the law. Do you think Villa would have scored 7 against Liverpool if they just sat back? Do you think they would have beat us if they just sat back? Ironically, you know, somehow it probably would have been 0-0 or it would have been a 1-0. They said, no, you know what, F that. We believe we're going to think about the threat that Arsenal could pose, which they did. But we've got Jack Grealish, we've got Ross Barkley, we've got Trezeguet, we've got Ollie Watkins. We never do that, you know. And for me, it's Willian. Like, I'm not trying to scapegoat a man, but I don't understand Willian consistently starting. I don't see what he gives us. It's not that he's a mad creative man. He brings the best out in the other players, like Liverpool fans say about Firmino with Salah and Mane. You know, it's not like he's mad switched on defensively, because you saw the right hand side yesterday completely being savage. It's not like he's a threat from any real set pieces. It's not like he's a 1v1 demon. He was poor across all of these, and Arsenal have shot themselves in the foot with that. You know, you would have thought we'd learn from Mkhitaryan. Sometimes you make free transfers and they prove quite costly, people. Arsenal have only scored 1 more goal than Aston Villa at the Emirates this season. We've lost consecutive home games without scoring for the first time since February 1993, where we lost 1-0 against Liverpool and Wimbledon respectively. After we actually conceded the second goal, people, we had 2 blocked shots in the final 20 minutes. So again, it's like we have all goals, no ideas, people. Lacazette made one pass in the opposition half during his moments at a period, which is poor. Pepe has the joint most shots of any Arsenal player in the game. So, and he was on for what, 20 minutes or so, 20, 30 minutes. Why is that the case? Why is that the case, man? And I mean, Lacazette, I understand he presses, he gives you a lot defensively, but yesterday he was a turkey. Like, he was slow, he was lethargic like the rest of the team. I don't see what he gives you. Put Aubameyang through the fucking middle until he starts scoring goals again. Move Bukayo Saka out to that left-hand side. Put Pepe, as frustrating as he is, on the right-hand side. And do your thing. If you're going to play Willian, do the little 10 thing with Willian, you know. I don't mind 5 at the back, but we need to go back to basics. We need to look like we actually want to win a football game, you know. And you don't shoot, you don't score. It's the age-old saying. I've got nothing more to say. As I said, credit to Aston Villa. You know, take nothing away from them. The focus should be on them because they played fantastic. Their game plan was fantastic. But when I isolate Aston Villa and focus on the club I support, which is Arsenal, atrocious, appalling, not good enough. You know, the stats don't lie. You lost 3-0. You're not scoring goals. You're not shooting. You know, you've won as many as you've lost. It's concerning. This is not the team that's going to get top 4. You are not a top 4 team. You talk the part. You said the manager tells you all of this. When the going gets tough, when it's adversity times, that's when you see where man stand. And you man are soft. You man are soft. You man are soft. You can't respond to when things are going tough. You didn't react after going a goal down. You didn't react after officially going a goal down. You didn't react at 2-0 down. It is what it is. We're very reactive as a